Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel, Bird's Eye Stitches. Today is Monday, it is May 25th, which means it's a holiday, which is why I am here talking to you instead of at work, which is where I typically am on a Monday. This is a much better place to be, I will tell you that. If you are new to my channel, then welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch, so I hope you are here because you like cross stitch. And if you're returning, then thank you so much for coming back. Happy to hear from you, happy to see you, happy to be here on a Monday. Just happy all around, really. I've got kind of a lot of stuff to show you guys today. Regular update video, I have a finish, I have Mania starts, I have a whip, a little bit of haul, giveaway winner from last week, and new giveaway for this week at the end of the video. So we will get right to it. Gabby's Stitches, she is a subscriber and she put up a comment on my video last week. She had asked for me to insert some clips of the desert and some of my surroundings because she's from the UK, and so obviously her surroundings, which I'm sure are equally gorgeous, are completely different from my surroundings. I thought that was a fantastic idea. I know that I really enjoy watching other people's Flosstube videos who have, you know, videos of their surroundings, or maybe the bunny rabbit in their front yard, or just whatever they happen to be looking at. I think that that's fun to see at the beginning, and it kind of just gives you a little bit of insight into that other stitcher's life, I guess you could say. So love the idea. I will be doing that. As many of you probably already know, if you're returning to my channel, I don't do any editing. Shocker, I know it's probably very obvious, but I sit down, I hit record, I talk and I yammer, and then I hit stop, and then I upload. I do that for two reasons. Number one, I don't know how to edit. Now, my daughter is going to show me how to do this. She promises that it is not hard. I do believe her that it is not hard, so that part is fine. The harder part is the idea of watching myself talk. I mean, I won't be inserting clips or anything like that, so I don't necessarily have to watch my video, but it's one thing to sit and talk and then upload it and then never watch it again. It's another thing to watch yourself talk. And I have yet to fully venture down that because I am not confident that if I watched myself for the whole video, that I would be confident enough to post it out there for all of you to see. So you will see. But Gabby's Stitches, I love the idea. I have been thinking about doing something like that for some time. I guarantee it will not happen in May because Mania, and I'm at the end of the month and I still have many more starts I need to cram in here. So that's just not gonna happen. But June I think is a good month for that. So stay tuned. We will already started taking some pictures and some little short clips, little video clips here and there, just to kind of start playing around with, and June we will do that. All right, I talked about last video the idea that I am participating in the non-sanctioned 24-hour of cross stitch event, which is really just me and a couple of stitchy friends trying to get 24 hours of cross stitching in over this holiday weekend. At the time that I use the term committed very loosely because, you know, it's just for fun. But at the time that I said, yes, let's do this, I had zero plans for this holiday weekend. I don't know what happened, but this weekend has become extremely busy. All good things. You know, I met a friend, hanging out with the family, hanging out with the little one, all great things. Not a lot of stitching. So today is Monday, and our 24-hour of cross-stitching timer started on Friday. I am at 12 hours as of this morning. So I am pretty sure I am not going to get 12 more hours of stitching in today, considering I do actually have to go to work tomorrow. So on days that I have to commute into work, I actually get up about 4:30 in the morning, 4:15, 4:30. So I can't really stay up all night because people pay me to function. I haven't won the lottery yet, so 12 hours, don't think so. But there will be more stitching in today and probably at least a few hours. So at the end of the day, I got to finish in. I had fun. Next 24-hour cross stitch official one is in July, so try again then. And I think I'm gonna make it for that weekend because I'm already kind of prepping how to set stuff aside and, you know, Jolly July. I think I'll make it. We'll see. Okay, that's July. May. Today, what did we do? Today, I gotta finish. I have finished what I call the bathtub piece. It resides in my beautiful Ever tote bag. This is probably my favorite bag. I ordered it. This might even be the first bag I ever actually ordered, but I love the birds. I love the color. I mean, it's missing the yellow, but the gray and the charcoal, love it. Love it, love it. So this is the bag that I use the most for my small projects that are downstairs that are kind of my focus piece. Lots of use. All right, we have what I call the bathtub piece. The official name is Curglaff. It is by Bendy Stitchy. Looks like this. I stitched this one on a piece of fabric that I call the bruised fabric. Looks like this. As you guys heard in a previous video, I changed the tree into a spider. Now, if I was really going to make this change, I would have probably changed the colors. This should be a tree, but my husband saw it and he said it looked like a spider, and so I didn't want to change the colors because that kind of takes away from the story and how it came to be. So I added my attempts at a spider web. I just freehanded that. It is not fancy, but I like it. It's a spider web, comes down here. I was gonna try to give him some eyes, but it just looked wonky, so that's a spider. Spider web, spider. Colors are called for DMC. The only swap that I made was, sorry, I should have pulled all this stuff out beforehand, but I used DMC 4515 for the word Curglaff, like this. And the called for on this was Cottage Garden Threads Skylark, but this DMC is a fairly good dupe. My plans for this guy is to find a frame because I want to put it in my bathroom, the guest bathroom downstairs. And even though there's not a whole lot of humidity down there, I just like the idea of it being in a frame if it's in a bathroom because I can clean it a little bit easier. This guy here, I started him on April 26th and he got 8 stitching days. I count a stitching day if I put more than 5 minutes into it. So I did pick this one up a couple of times and put maybe 5 minutes in, but I didn't write it down. So 8 true stitching days. How many hours that was, I don't know, but I love him. Love the colors, love the saying. I love the quirkiness of it. Super happy it's done. Also, I remembered I really don't like stitching words, so even more happy it's done because there's not that much wording, but it was enough. It was enough that I don't need to do any more words anytime soon. All right, besides working on Curglaff, I originally was going to try to work on 3 Mania pieces for this 24-hour cross stitch idea. You know, my plan was to get 6 hours of stitching on 3 different pieces. I will be putting in a good amount of time on one of those pieces today, but I only actually got a good amount of stitching on one of my older Mania starts because Curglaff took longer than expected and I've only stitched for 12 hours, so oh well. Here's what I stitched on. This is Mother of the Ocean by the Primitive Hare. Will look something similar to this. Again, for most of Mania, I'm pretty much stitching almost all from stash, so lots of trade outs. Originally, I had done just a tiny little bit, just right here is all that I had done. This is just a giant blob of black coffee, so it may not be that exciting, but it was fun to stitch on. Got this much done, a giant piece of fabric here, but that is actually almost 2 hours of stitching. I'm slow, guys. That 2 hours of stitching, it looks like, I don't know, a goat head or a state. I don't know, but pulled this one out again. I love the whale. When this is complete, it's gonna go somewhere, don't know where, but I really love it. So this will be a focus piece at some point after Mania is over. I am stitching, so far the only color I have used is Black Coffee by Crescent Colors. Looks like this. And the fabric is a piece of Jobelin 32 count by BeStitchMe. It's a mystery color that I got off of Friday Night Fight Night, so there wasn't a color, but this, it's actually picking up really true. It's kind of a, I don't know, an orangey tan, a little bit of modeling to it. It's really pretty, really like it. All right, that is it for the whips. All the rest is going to be Mania. So I've been talking about the fact that one item per week for Mania is not necessarily a new start. It's a pull of an old whip, something that's super, super old, or in this case, something that my daughter brought up that I haven't picked up for a long time. It's been about a year since I probably stitched on this last. So I worked it back into Mania because I need to finish it. And when I took it out, I remembered, number one, how much fun it was to stitch on. And number two, I realized I'm not that far away from finishing this dang thing. So why I put it away and tucked it, I don't know. So the piece I'm talking about, if you watched my old Flosstube channel that no longer exists, but if you did watch it, then you may remember this piece, because I started this when I started that Flosstube channel a year ago, and showed it a few times in the beginning. So this is, well, I called it the Majestic Unicorn. The real name for this is Moonlight Magic. It is in the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas, Volume 7 from 2015. This is the magazine that it comes from. This is what the piece will look like when it's complete. I started stitching this for my daughter. I think by the time I finish this, she's not even going to be into unicorns anymore. But she does still like this piece, and she brought it up. So here is where I am. Switch it to this side. So this is a full coverage piece. It took me quite a long time to get to this point. In fact, if you look at my Ort jar from last year, it's almost completely blues and whites. When I picked it up, I had this whole area complete. I put some stitches in here on the horse head and a little tiny bit here. I had this blue done, I just kind of worked it up into this area. So that is Majestic Unicorn. I'm trying to work in my cell phone, and this camera screen for some reason is kind of shrunk down just a little bit, and so I'm trying to hold this to where you can see the whole pattern. But I only have this tiny little bit to go, so I need to finish this one this year. And this one is Christmassy, so July, Jolly July, I think this one counts as going into my stitch rotation. I say it counts, so it counts. All right, real new starts. All the rest of these are brand new. So I worked on By the Bay Needle Arts 13th Colony Bay Part 1. Looks like this. I will be stitching, there's 3 parts to this one. I will be stitching all 3, but I'm going to do them separate. I have a lot of giant empty walls in my house right now, and so I like the idea of whether they're framed or however they're finished. I always like them being separate or something in the middle, you know, in a straight line or something. But also I'm not confident in my ability to put all 3 of them on one piece of fabric and have it fit. So there's that. I'm stitching this one on a piece of fabric called Artemis. It's also BeStitchMe. I got a lot of BeStitchMe going on this week. I think almost everything is going to be BeStitchMe. I've been doing a lot of BeStitchMe shopping. But this is a really nice, it's like a neutral gray. And when I think of the beach, especially for this 13th Colony Bay series, I don't really think of a bright sunny beach. I think of more of like an Oregon gray beach. So this is a nice neutral gray color. It's showing a tad bit more blue here than it really is. It's a little bit cooler gray than this, but so far I have only stitched in DMC 731, this tiny little bit of a tree, but it has started. It will go in the rotation. I have so many By the Bay needle art charts. I love them. I love the blocks of color, and I am now officially starting my first one. So I am happy to say the only reason why it took me this long is because I had the hardest time choosing the right fabric. I went from bright blue to light blue to a white to a neutral taupe color, and now we're in the land of gray because I always decide on gray. I love gray. All right, next up we have this one I found in my stash. This is a kit that my husband bought for me a number of years ago. I forgot he ever even got it for me, and I was just going through the drawers and found this and thought, how have I not picked this up to stitch it yet? I don't know who this designer is. It's another language, but it's called Split Seconds of Summer Ladybird. Looks like this. Maybe it's by Pana. Not sure what that says, but it's a full kit, so I am stitching it in the called for colors because, well, it's a kit. I am not stitching it on the Aida that it came with. I pulled that to the side because I will probably use that for some of my Christmas ornament starts. Instead, I had a scrap piece from another project that I started this week of Outback Jack, 27 count Lugana from BeStitchMe. I am stitching this one 1/1 on 27 count. So it's gonna be kind of tiny, but I got that far. I am really excited for this one to be done. Let's see. By the way, this Outback Jack color is just beautiful. It's got a cool tone, even though it's browns and even a little tiny bit of green in mine, but it still has kind of that cool coloration that I'm drawn to. So anyway, sorry, sidetracked by the pretty fabric. This chart, I'm excited to finish it because I love dandelions. The dandelion is my favorite flower. I love the color of the actual flower. I love when it goes to seed and it has the little tufts of dandelion fluff. My mom and I used to go and pick dandelions when I was a kid. It just brings back a lot of really, really fond memories. Then my mom, she really loves ladybugs. So ladybug, dandelion fluff. Husband bought it for me. How have I not stitched this yet? I don't know, but we got to start. It will be tiny. Excited to see it as it grows. Plus it was a kit and the floss was pre-sorted, super easy. My favorite kind of kit. The only thing I like about kits usually is I have to pre-sort the floss. It takes forever. But what do you do? Part of the kit. At least you know you have all the floss. All right, the last Mania start that I had for this week was Plum Street Samplers Buzz Off. You all have seen this fabric or this pattern many a times. I've owned it. I think I got it at Market last year, a Market release. I got it from my LNS, but will look something like that. I am stitching it on the same fabric, Outback Jack, and when I cut this fabric, it fit for color. I stitched part of the bird. I'm not using called for colors. I'm using Blackbird, which is crescent colors. Looks like this. And, oh, upside down. I got this much of that little bird stitched up. Now, I did put up a post on my Instagram about how the entire time I was stitching this, because it was with this color, that I was singing, you know, the song by the Beatles pretty much the entire time. I was like humming it, and then when I put it away, I was still humming it. I am not going to sing that song because I don't have nearly as good of a voice as, say, Joy-Filled or any of the other Flosstubers that sing. But you know the song, the Blackbird song, the Beatles, many other folks have sang it. We got that far. Kind of reminds me of the bottom of an Oompa Loompa, sort of. Not sure why, but here we go. All right, that brings me up to 14 new starts for Mania. So I have 6 to go, and counting today, there are 6 days left in the month. Today's new start is going to be the Pilgrim. Sorry for the glare, long dog. My first long dog. Excited to start it. This is another one where I kept going back and forth. I couldn't decide on the fabric, and then I had the fabric and I couldn't decide on the color floss, and I think I got it. I will show you what we're gonna stitch it on because it came in my haul this week. So, on to haul. I had a custom fabric, a piece of custom fabric made by Brandy from BeStitchMe. I showed her that I was going to be stitching this chart, and then I showed her a couple of different floss colors that I was looking to stitch it. She knows I like gray, she knows I like the cooler tones. Beyond that, I gave her the count, and she knows the size, and I said, surprise me, because I could not decide. Couldn't decide. So, what she made for me was a piece of gray, shocker, gray, and she added purple. I'm stitching it on a 36 count linen. This is a giant piece of fabric. It's coming out a lot more purple on this than it truly is, but it is dark. It's a nice dark color. Some really nice modeling to it. It's not too much modeling, but just enough. So I am going to stitch the Pilgrim on this piece of beautiful fabric, and I'm going to stitch it in DMC white. I would go B5200, but when I was going through my stash, for some reason, I don't know if I got a haul or something that just had a lot of DMC white, but I have I think a grand total now of 26 skeins of DMC white. White on this will be beautiful. Starting this tonight. And I'll put a couple hours, hopefully, into this. So we will see a tiny bit of progress next week. Beyond that fabric, I also picked up 2 pieces of fabric from Friday Night Fight Night last week. One of them is a linen 28 count. There is no name on this other than dark and pretty. Very interesting modelation. It's kind of some blue in there, some blue, some real deep, deep blue. Different from pretty much everything else that I have in my stash. And I have a lot of pieces for, you know, Christmas theme. Like I said, I'm pretty much gonna be stitching on a little bit of Christmas after this month here on out. And I really like my Christmas stuff on either darker fabric or a bright white sparkle fabric. There's not really an in-between. So I picked that one up. And then this one I picked up because I want to use it for the Princess Eliana. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember her name and I don't have it next to me. You know what I'm talking about. The pretty princess that I'm starting in August with the yellow in her dress. It is pale purple, a 32 count Lugana. Looks like this. It is also more pale, but this is picking up more purpley blue. I wonder why that is. It seems like the color blue is drawn out with the lighting more than any other color. So kind of interesting. That is it in the land of fabric. I did get my spring Quaker bag from Garon Tottenbags. I was really just drawn to this because I like the bees on the inside. This was a pre-order. I do not have the chart or anything yet. I still need to pick it up for spring Quaker, summer Quaker, which is what this bag is for. I do have spring Quaker, obviously, and I've started that. I do want to get summer Quaker because they're doing a stitch along on the Garon Facebook group. So if you're not part of that group, they are doing a stitch along for that right now. I haven't bought it, I haven't started it, but I have the bag because it's got bees and it's beautiful. Couldn't pass it up. Is that all I have in my haul? Oh, no, chart. My dear friend Carolyn, Seasook Stitch, sent me a rack. This is Our Hearts. It's a design by Brenda Jarvet. It says, "Your heart and my heart are very old friends." Love this chart. I like the reds in it. I will be starting this at some point this year just to add it to the rotation. So always fun to get random acts of kindness in the mail. So speaking of mail, and this will lead into giveaways, I did set up a P.O. box last week. So to the winners that I've heard from last week, you should have your charts as of now. I got those mailed off just a couple days ago. So if you don't have them today, probably tomorrow. But I have a P.O. box, which means be prepared for some random acts of kindness. I love to mail out little notes, you know, nothing extravagant, really just bringing back the idea of pen pals. And now that I have an address that is not my own personal home address, I can start doing that. So I am excited for that. Week before last giveaway winners, I have heard from 1 out of the 3. So I did get the balloon chart out, and that should be delivered as of now, or maybe as of tomorrow. But I have not heard from the winner for the beautiful yellow Ada or for Happy Everything. So what I think I'm going to do for these giveaways, because I'm enjoying doing the giveaways and I want to keep them going, but I know I will 100% not keep up with trying to track down the winners from each video. So I'll announce the winner, you know, at the end of the video from the previous week. And then if I haven't heard from you during the whole next week, when I do my next video, I'll re-announce it at that point. And then if I don't hear from you by the next one, then I'm just going to basically put those things back into the bucket and we'll do a new draw. I don't want to go back. I thought about going back and doing a repick from the old comments, but I just think I'm gonna get confused. So to keep it easy, you have 2 weeks worth of videos to claim your prize, and then it'll go back in the bucket. So the beautiful yellow Ada, the winner to that was Christy Martin. Christy Martin, please email me. My email, I will link it below, but my email is birdseyestitches@gmail.com. Super easy. Let me know which count of Ada you would like. Christy Martin. I can't wait to see you receive this Ada cloth and to see what you stitch on it. So please get in touch with me this week. And the winner for Happy Everything was the Desert Stitcher AZ. Now, I think that you commented on my video last week, so hopefully you see this. Hopefully you see that you won this really adorable chart. And hopefully you're my neighbor because we're both Arizona. Looking forward to that. The chart for last week was Watercolor Dogs. This one is adorable. It looks like this. I feel like this picture doesn't even really do it justice the way that it's coming across, because you could stitch these little dogs in any color you want. Some of them have checkers. They are just super cute, and you can do so much with these. The keyword for this one was dog. I do use the random YouTube comment generator, and the winner to this was Jennifer C. So Jennifer C, please send me an email, birdseyestitches@gmail.com. I will link it below. Just let me know your address and I will send this on out to you. All right, this week's giveaway. I found an old, it's actually a booklet. It looks, apparently, it was purchased from Hobby Lobby at some point. It is Shoes, Hats, Purses, Oh My. Now, I did some shoe shopping this weekend. Well, I got one pair of sandals, but that's shoe shopping to me. So I went shoe shopping this weekend. It was fun. Then I saw this chart and I thought this would be the one that I would give away this week. So looks like this. There is all kinds of different charts in here. Really bright, fun, colorful shoes, colorful purses. This is a really nice basket. I like the black and white checks to this. It says, too much is not enough, which is super cute, but you could even stitch this just with the basket. So I really like, this boot looking shoe, super cute. So if you would like to stitch this, I will ship it anywhere in the world, US, UK, anywhere, doesn't matter. Keyword for this is shoes. So let me know, use the word shoes. I will draw for this on my next video. And if you do win it, as always, you stitch it, let me know. I like to see. So, all right, that's all I have for you guys today. Good to see you. Enjoy your Monday. If you are at work today, then thank you for working today. I know I always had a job where I had to work all the holidays, every single one of them. And so it's only as of recently that I have had a job that I have holidays off. So it makes me even more grateful to those of you who are out working today. And to everybody else, enjoy your holiday. I hope you're having a great time with your family and friends, getting some rest in, getting some stitching in, and I will see you next week. Happy stitching. Bye.